Okay. Hi, everyone. This is your favorite film critic, Jay or Jaylan Salah, as you formerly know her. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing an actress I've been a fan of seriously recently, Olivia Taylor Dudley. I want to talk to her about her new thriller, Touch Me, which is inspired by the Japanese films of the 60s and 70s. It's a very cool thriller, but I'm just excited to talk to Olivia. Thank you for having.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, I've seen Abigail Before Beatrice, and you had And I just got to tell you, this was a phenomenal film. You were phenomenal in it. And then I saw Touch Me. And I'm like, okay, does Olivia have a thing for these complex, borderline creepy roles? Do you seek them consciously or do they just come to you?
Um, I think they just find me. I don't know, maybe subconsciously I'm looking for them. I just really love complex characters and finding, writers who write women like this. I think it's really kind of hard to find them, and I'm really happy that my career has gotten to a place where I'm able to kind of pick and choose filmmakers that are writing such complex women. And yeah, they couldn't be any more different. I mean, they're very different characters, but yeah, I had such a good time with both of them, and getting to do like thriller and genre is, I don't know, it's my favorite.
Wow. Okay. So what drew you particularly to this project, Touch Me?
Touch Me, I got sent the script and I read it, and literally 2 hours after reading it, I met with the director, Addison. And we just talked for like 2 hours. We met at a bar and we talked and talked and talked. And we didn't even talk about the movie necessarily. We jumped right into the movie deals a lot with mental health, and my character has obsessive compulsive disorder in the film, and I too have obsessive compulsive disorder, and so does the director Addison. So we kind of just talked about that and why he put that in the film and what that means to him, and how much like that is the driving force behind the whole movie, even though it's, you know, behind the lens of like horror and all this like fun stuff. We got to talk about very serious, very real issues. And that's what really drew me to it, is how he was able to blend the genres and really like create these complex characters, but then put it in a really beautiful setting and make it really wild and weird so that you kind of don't even understand at first how deep it goes. And I thought he did a brilliant job of that. And I think he's a genius, and I think he's so funny and wonderful to work with. So I knew like the second I met him, I fell in love with him, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to work together on hopefully more projects too.
I think horror is a great vehicle to talk about mental health issues, to talk about mental illness, to talk about all these complex things that happen in our minds and in our psyche. So, how successful do you think Touch Me was in doing this and in showing us? I think when you see the word obsessive compulsive disorder, or what I have, ADHD, it's just a name, it's just an acronym. But when you watch a character, it's actually flesh and blood and you connect.
Yeah, it's so true because everyone's experiences of all of these labels and everything is so different. And this was through Addison's eyes, and yet he was a really wonderful collaborator and was able to let me bring in some of my own ideas. Like there's a lot of monologues in this film, and there was even more that we ended up having to cut down later in the edit, but he let me chime in and give my 2 cents on like, well, my experience is kind of like this. And so we kind of blended both of our experiences with anxiety. I mean, my character also suffers from severe anxiety, which I also have anxiety. And so we were able to just kind of blend like my own personal traumas in life and everything together, which was really nice. And yeah, I mean, genre is such a good vehicle for this, like you said. And I think he just did a really wonderful job of that. I don't know, I'm really proud of it. And I hope that people really connect with that side of the film, not just like it being a psychosexual, like exciting horror movie, but the the real human part of it, not just the alien part of it, you know?
Totally. As an actress, how do you protect yourself when you're being very vulnerable in front of the camera? Like, how do you create a safe space for yourself? Or do you just dive in regardless of the consequences of whatever the scene you're doing?
I just dive in. I don't know. I think over the years I've been doing this my whole life, so I think I have some sort of internal protection that I've set for myself, and I don't really have any sort of rituals around it. I'm pretty good at leaving it at work. Um, I think it can weigh on you when you're doing like a movie like Abigail Before Beatrice. That was heavy the whole movie. And so while filming that, I did get a bit weighed down because we were filming sad scene after sad scene after sad scene. But Touch Me was a nice balance. It was like one day I'd go into work and I would do a really intense monologue about assault or something very heavy and real, and I was affected by it. But we had such a good time on set, and everybody was so close, and it was such a fun set. And Addison creates such a safe space to work in, and he actually is very good at pulling you out of it when you're done. So I don't really have a hard time with that. I think in film, it's a lot easier to protect yourself. You know, when you're on a TV series for a really long time, your character can start to weigh on you and you start to become that person, you know. So, but with this movie, honestly, I just had a really good time the whole time. Like, even days when it was really dark and intense, I don't know, it was one of the most fun I've ever had on a shoot, to be honest.
Also, I realized there are many funny moments in this film. So I want to know, how was the humor gathered? Did you have talks about it? How were the conversations? Because seriously, I found myself laughing even in the midst of the darkness. It was just funny.
That was one of the things that drew me into the film right away. When I was reading the script, you know, the movie opens with a very long monologue, and I was laughing out loud while reading the script, which that doesn't happen often. You normally don't laugh while reading the script, that, you know, maybe once or twice, but I laughed throughout the whole time reading it, and I was like, wow, that is an accomplishment. This man really knows how to write comedy. And then he hired actors who've done a lot of comedy. I've done a lot of comedy. Actually, I don't know if Lou's done a lot of comedy, but man, he really nailed the funny moments. I think comedy, you know, comes the best kind of comedy is like a combination of really good writing and actors really believing in what that moment is. And then you blend the two. Hopefully it's really funny. You can't like force the comedy. So we actually didn't have a lot of conversations about it. We didn't have a lot of prep time because I was filming the other film literally right before, and I only had like 5 days between the two. So we had like one read through together and kind of one conversation, but it was more about big picture, not necessarily about tone. I think everyone just kind of understood the tone right away. Addison's very good at writing tone, which is so helpful as an actor to have it on the page and you're not like trying to find it. And it was a really short, you know, run and gun shoot. And I don't know, everyone just kind of nailed it, if you ask me.
Wonderful. Seriously. Olivia, thank you so much for talking to me. This was a great
Thank you.
conversation. What a film and what a career. I mean, I can't wait
Oh,
to watch more of your work.
thank you so much.
Thank you.